When a patient is harmed, the first reaction of many is to ask the question, who was responsible? Who made an error? This person approach has been deeply entrenched in old models of safety that sees the cause of clinical incidents sitting squarely on the shoulders of those immediately responsible for the delivery of care. This has led to issues surrounding performance management and issues surrounding patient safety becoming intertwined in the clinical incident investigation process. The systems approach to safety urges us to unpick this relationship and separate out performance management from the clinical incident investigation process. When a high-profile patient safety incident occurs, we often see media headlines that focus on individual blame and the punitive actions taken against those individuals involved. We also often see our politicians reinforcing individual culpability and reassuring the public that all is well because an individual has been stood down, suspended, or referred to the registration agency. However, the role of clinical incident investigation is not to apportion blame or identify culpability. The role of clinical incident investigation is to understand the underlying reasons why errors occur, the reasons behind the mistakes that are made, and the deficiencies in our systems that give rise to problems in the delivery of care. The reality is that only in exceptional circumstances do clinical incidents occur because standards of individual performance fall below our expectations. If an investigation does uncover behaviours of individuals that are of significant concern from the perspective of standards of practice, these should be referred through the normal clinical governance channels for follow-up. This should always be a separate process from the clinical incident investigation. The only time the clinical incident investigation should be asking questions around performance management is in relation to known performance management issues that have not been addressed. For instance, the investigation in these circumstances can examine the performance management processes that are in place, review those processes to ascertain if they were sufficient, and highlight any deficiencies. This is where clinical incident investigation can really focus on the systems and not on judgments around individual clinical practice. In summary, if a clinical incident is found to be caused by individual or team behaviour that reflects a true performance management issue, the clinical incident investigation should ask, why were the leadership and governance processes deficient, such that they did not identify and address these issues before an adverse event occurred? Clinical incident investigation should not concern itself with apportioning blame or culpability. Rather, it should reflect on the systems issues that need to be addressed in order to create a more resilient system of healthcare service delivery.